What up, y'all? Preseason polls are out. Brent McMurphy, Joel Klatt, and the coaches poll via USA Today announced their top 25. We're going to go with my guy first, though, Joel Klatt. Like I said, I watch his show a lot. Really like what he be having to say. Really good analyst. So let's break down his top 25. All right, so as y'all see, I move my head down here because y'all always come for me, seeing my head is in the middle of the way. All right, so he has Utah, obviously, at number 25. Solid selection. We know Oklahoma has John Mateer, Jaden Ott, pretty good team. Defense is expected to be better this year, right? Should take that leap forward, but they're playing the SEC. So, I mean, we'll see. Maybe around 7 to 8 wins. I don't mind them being ranked, though. That's a pretty good selection. Now, when it comes to Baylor, we know how good Sawyer Robertson is. He's gotten, obviously, a lot of acclaim this past offseason, being in that top list, right? 3,000 yards passing, 28 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions. But they got a guy in Bryson Washington that's really good. Over 1,000 yards last season. They also got Pendergrass, who had over 700 yards. Baylor is really deep. You know, can they take that next step forward in a wide-open Big 12? Remains to be seen. Obviously, we talked about Iowa on the channel a whole bunch. When it comes down to Iowa, we know defensively they're going to be stout and good. They bring back one of the best defensive lines in the country, top 10 ranked across many different, just rankings. Can you put up points offensively? Did you do enough this offseason to bring the weaponry around your quarterback in order to obviously win? They brought in some new quarterbacks. Obviously, should be a lot better out of that position. But can they score points is the biggest question. Now, Ole Miss, a lot of you guys are very high on Austin Simmons. Again, I'm going to refrain until I see him actually play. I know y'all said he's played, obviously, in some games before. I'm going to hold off. I know Ole Miss front seven, again, will be really good, obviously, under head coach Lane Kiffin. So, obviously, you can expect that, But I want to see how good he will be. You know what I'm saying? Remains to be seen. Obviously, when it comes to Iowa State, you got Rocco Beck. He's been doing his thing. For them, same thing, wide open Big 12. Can you take that step forward? Really good team. I like them being ranked in the top 20. The team he's missing, though, and y'all can call me obviously biased, but Georgia Tech, I think, should be a top 25 ranked team. I think they're loaded. They bring back, obviously, a lot. This upcoming year, I would say they're better than Utah. I think they're better than Baylor. I think they're better than Iowa also as well in this list. So that's one team I would throw in here. Texas Tech obviously has been getting a lot of flack, and the reason of that is because all the money they've been spending to make sure this team is good. I think they spent north of $35 to $40 million. But look, y'all, they want to win. You know what I'm saying? They want to take that step forward. They see that obviously the Big 12 is wide open. Hey, why are we not invest and put money into our program and be able to take that next step forward? So I like that. Arizona State, was it a fluke? Right? You know what I'm saying? Can you get back to that promised land? How will you replace the production of a Cam Scatterbo, right? You obviously got your star receiver, Tyson, coming back for another year. We obviously know how good Sam Leavitt is. But can you replace that? Can your defense be as good as it was a season ago? Now, for Indiana, right? And again, I would rank Georgia Tech above them, right? They're going to be having a new quarterback at the helm in Mendoza, right? Is he ready for this throne? Right? A lot of eyes going to be in Indiana, you know what I'm saying, this upcoming year. They made it, obviously, the college football playoff last year. Can they repeat that same success? The Aggies, obviously, we know what they can bring to the table. Obviously, hopefully, everything's good with their running back. We know he got arrested this offseason, but obviously, Le'Veon Moss is that dude. He's one of the best backs in the SEC when he's healthy, right? Here, Marshall Reed has been taking strides forward and steps forward, obviously, all offseason long. You know what I'm saying? And he's getting better as a thrower of the football. You know what I'm saying? So 16 for them is a pretty good spot, I would say. Do they have the different pieces in order to compete at the same level? Last year, their defensive line, again, I'm going to keep bringing up a written point, but can they do the same thing they did last year with that defensive line? Shamar Stewart, obviously, creating different pressures. Nick Scorton, can they do the same thing this year? For Kansas State, it all talks about, obviously, their quarterback, Avery Johnson, right? Can Avery Johnson take the next step forward? We know about the pieces they got at the helm. We know about the receivers that they got as well. But can he lead them in those big games to those victories, right? Same thing, wide open Big 12. We know how good he is. It's a big year for him because if he wants to take that step forward and be a draft pick in the coming years, they have to be a winning team. They were winning last year, but getting into that big stage of a Big 12 championship. Now, y'all know how I feel about Florida. Obviously, it hinges on the health of a DJ Lagway. You know what I'm saying? But Florida is an elite team. You know what I'm saying? And I think Florida, despite the schedule, I think they got the right coach in Billy Napier. I think they got the right defense. Right, Bruce Thornton. I think they got the right, obviously, defensive front. I think they got the right weapons on offense that's going to tear it up this year with Jaden Ball. Florida is my dark horse sleeper. I have them way higher ranked than 14. I will go at a solid 7. I think they're going to be the team to beat in the SEC this year, and a lot of people are going to be surprised because their schedule is so damn hard. Won't matter. Illinois, pretty solid team, playing in, obviously, the Big Ten. Not a bad spot for them at 13. They are a top 15 team, I would say. Luke Altmaier had a really productive season last year. I like 13 for them. Now, y'all know I love my Canes, man. But it's just so many question marks, man, especially when it comes to the wide receiver spot. You depend on a lot of guys that are young, right? You obviously brought some guys over. We know about Daniels. We obviously know about Malachi Tony, the true freshman star. But it's a lot to ask for. Is Carson Beck really that dude? 27-3 at Georgia, but can he get it done in the ACC, right? Remains to be seen, man. I'm going to hold off until we see it, obviously, in person. And we get a good test. They got to play Notre Dame, who's number 6, obviously, according to his list. Gamecocks. Another stellar team. Should be a playoff team this year. Recruits have been talking about it. I agree. I think so, too. Lenora should be a way better player this upcoming year for the Gamecocks. They got the speedster in Nick Harbor, right? They got pieces on the offensive line that are really good coming back another year, right? Defensively, they should still be very stout, right? They got different pieces. They will be replacing, obviously, their safety, Nick E., who's obviously at Seattle now. But they should be a playoff team this year. 10 Michigan for me, y'all, is too high. I like where South Carolina's at. I'm going to move Michigan down a little bit, maybe to like top 15. Again, we know what they're going to have. But again, it's a true freshman quarterback, y'all. You know, he's going to go through, obviously, his leaps and his bounds. He's going to go through his ups and downs, right? That's just a part of the process. 10 is a little too high for me, especially they're not going to have the coach. I know it's not a conference. I know it's cupcake schedule. But still, that's a lot to ask for a freshman quarterback coming in. I know they're paying the money for it, but still, kind of low for me. Bama, I will move up actually a little bit. I would move them a little past LSU, respectfully. I would move them to probably like number 6 or number 5. You know, I think Bama's going to have a surprise year this year. Jalen Mbakwe's been obviously standing out now. Changed positions to obviously wide receiver. I think he's going to be ready to go. He's an elite talent, an elite player. You know, they obviously, got other pieces that are good. Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard. They're going to be a runner block with obviously the veteran pieces they got. Ty Simpson should be the starter. Alabama should be really good this year. It's just, can the quarterback not turn over the ball? Can he manage the game? LSU, I know the hype train is going crazy on the Tigers. I feel y'all. Again, I have no ill will or hate towards Garrett Nussmeier. I like him. I just don't think he's as high as y'all rank him. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to see it this year. Another full year starting. Can he have a Joe Burrow caliber season? Let's find out, right? LSU probably has one of the better defenses coming back with what they did in obviously the transfer portal. Bringing in Patrick Payton. They got one of the best linebacking units in the country. Can they obviously take the next step forward? Can they win the big games? Yeah, and in this one, like I said, I would move Georgia down a little bit. I think Georgia's still a top 10 team, but is Gunnar Stockton ready? He got all the pieces. They're loaded. A lot of depth at running back position, right? A lot of receivers to throw the football to. Is he ready for that, though? The defense is stout. C.J. Allen should be a top draft pick. K.J. Bolden, a preseason All-American, right? You got Dalen Everett. They're loaded. You know what I'm saying? Elijah Griffin looking like he's going to probably start for Georgia. They're loaded. I would just move them to number 10. Notre Dame, same thing. Really good team. Should be really good defensively again. Great test, week 1 when they play Miami. Again, Jeremiah Love should be in that Heisman conversation. Most elite back, I think in college football. They should be right back there. Oregon is too high for me, y'all. I'm not going to lie. Oregon at 5, I don't like it. Dante Moore comes over, obviously from UCLA. They lost the receiver, Evan Stewart. They got a really stout, really good tight end, really good true freshman, Decoria Moore, who I think is going to light it up. But have they figured out that secondary yet? I'm not sure, y'all. You know what I'm saying? 5 is too high for me for Oregon. They are a top 10 team. They aren't a top 5 team. Clemson is way too damn low. I don't like Clemson at 4. I will move Clemson to 1. I think Clemson is the top team in the country. Respectfully. And I know ACC and a lot of people really don't like having, ACC teams high or really, obviously been talking crap about the conference. But Clemson's the best team in college football right now. This is what it is. I'm going to go Clemson 1. I'm going Texas 2. Texas is the next best team in the country. You know what I'm saying? They obviously beat them last year. You know what I'm saying? Texas is loaded. They lost, obviously, Blake Gideon, who's at Georgia Tech now. Still got their defensive coordinator. They're going to be able to run the ball. They got Wisner back another year. They got Ryan Wingo. They got a true freshman that's coming in now that's going to absolutely tear it up in Khalil Lockett. They're loaded. Texas ain't playing around, dog. Texas is going to be good. They're number 2 team in the country. And then I would keep Ohio State at 3. I like them there. I know Julian's saying they got to figure out the quarterback spot, but you got Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. Throw it into the vicinity. You'll figure it out. Defensively, they lost some pieces, but you still got Caleb Downs. That should help you out a lot. And then last but not least, I will put Penn State. I will put them probably at number 4. Number 4, probably a little bit ahead of Oregon. This team is completely revamped. You bring back the 2 top rushers in college football last year, 2 1,000-yard rushers. You got, obviously, who everybody believes is the Heisman favorite or should be in that conversation with Drew Aller, who should be a top draft pick. You got Trevor Pena, obviously, out of the portal. You got a really good defense. Yet again, you did lose Tom Allen to Clemson, the defensive coordinator, but you should be at the top. That would be my top 4 right there. But comment down below your thoughts on this top 25.